Hey, what's up? This is going to be a little bit of a lesson on dance, specifically the type of dance that I did in my previous video. It's a short video. It's called, this is a dance to the song MMMH by Kai. And so I want to explain the process that I took to dance this dance. And it's a form of freestyle for sure because I don't really do choreography, but really you can apply it with choreography as well, especially if you don't have the mental speed to kind of pull it off at a freestyle speed. But basically how it works is a lot of people they have movements in dance, and they kind of use the moves that they have, and eventually you can develop a vocabulary. Eventually your vocabulary, if you're very well taught, it can be like thousands of moves or stuff like that. But I don't like doing that, right? I don't do that. And if I don't do that, then kind of my vocabulary is very limited, right? Because it's just a bunch of moves I use over and over again. So I use this method that I invented, or whoever did. I think I invented it. This method is called a mathematical dance, and basically, you listen to a song over and over again, and you apply mathematical concepts. You have to have a math major, right, to do this, but you kind of think about math, right? You think about math, and you think about, okay, which part of math applies to this? For instance, in my dance, um, I thought of sine wave. I thought of a sine wave at the beginning of the dance. That was the sine wave. Then there was things like integration. I thought of the process of integration as well as the shapes formed by integration. For example, integrating a sine wave over 1 unit above, stuff like that. Integrating a sine wave. I thought about different types of functions, and these gave me all types of different movements that cannot be invented because they're not, typically what you think of. But it gives you a vocabulary that normally you wouldn't get, right? And you kind of attach these, so it's a process, right? You kind of, first of all, you create this connection between music and mathematics, and then you kind of attach emotions and feelings from your dance to this. That's why when you see it, like, how did he do that? Why is this so different? It's because I'm not doing dance the normal way. I'm literally using mathematics in dance. I take a piece of mathematics and I apply it to dance, whether it's shape, making my hands move in the shape of those shapes, right? Whether it's I'm actually kind of like, you know, how do I say this? Like, for example, for my sine wave, that was this movement. Actually, it's supposed to be this, but I altered it, so that's how you saw this. It's from sine wave. Sine means opposite of a hypotenuse. It's a mathematical term. The other parts where I did the 1/x function. So I made this movement. That was a 1/x function. Okay? And sometimes you don't really apply the exact shape or the drawing, you apply the idea. So if you understand in your core what the idea is, you take that idea and you apply it, and something's going to happen out of your body, because that's how our minds are created, like at the fundamental level. So again, I'm not gonna make this video really long because it's not a complicated concept. It's just something you have to practice, which is, if you're out of moves, if you're out of vocabulary, or if you want to develop a good vocabulary just immediately without even practicing, and you're a math student, you have to be. But it works with everything, right? It works with. Sometimes I also imagine an orchestra, so my movements are kind of inspired by an orchestra. You have to be an artist, but of course dancers are artists, so it's kind of should be able to do. But even things like chemistry, you should be able to do with chemistry, right? You just draw out the different types of compounds. You imagine. So this is thinking out of the box, right? So when your teacher teaches you stuff, the thing that you need to know how to do the most is thinking out of the box. So you could be inspired by the shapes of the compounds themselves. Maybe it's what is it, butane or ethanol or glucose. All these things you can use it in your dance. You just imagine the shape and you draw them out, and there you go. You added a dance move, and all you did was very simple. You don't have to memorize it. You just think about, oh, I'm a chemistry student. What did I learn in chemistry? And you just think about these shapes, and all of a sudden you have all these kind of mathematical shapes that are very interesting and they're fun. And it's not like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just do what all these different moves. I have to create a different move. I have to think hard. No, it's easy. That's the key to life, is thinking out of the box. So this is my version of it. And obviously, if a physics student, right, you can just imagine, all these equations. You can imagine, you know, um, how this works, that works, and you can apply the thinking. Because thinking is, it's very connected. If you can connect the dots and can form a connection between your field of study and university and your field of study in math and dance, then you can create more movements more easily. You can create novel things, right? Things that are new, not just because it's you copied it from someone and you have to research and you have to go to classes. And this is a method that works. All you need is a major in mathematics and or chemistry or biology. You can think of the shape of an animal. You can think of the cellular structure. You can think of, oh, what does the cell look like? So I'm going to trace my hands in the shape of the nucleus or a DNA strand, right? DNA strand, I'm going to move my hands in the shape of the DNA strand. I'm going to move my hands in the shape of, so it's all these things that inspire you, because you don't have to come up with a new move. If you can find it out in nature or in anything thought process wise elsewhere, right? So if you, oh, I'm already maxed out, I don't have any more moves, you can just do that. Or if you feel like you're a pretty simple person, you dance pretty basically like I do. I don't really use a lot of moves normally, but when I need to, I resort to mathematics. I resort to music. I don't resort to music. I resort to an orchestra. So like I feel like when I'm imagining a tuba or a trumpet play a sound, right? I imagine, so when there's a music, I connect it to like a part of the orchestra, and my movements change depending on that. So it's very much this inspirational type of thing, and it's to create something novel. So mathematics is immense. So if you really want to dance with mathematics and you have a PhD in math, obviously what type of shapes, what types of movements can you come up with if you inspire yourself with mathematics as a PhD student? Or if you're a PhD chemistry student, like how could you, there's so many different compounds, endless compounds almost. So how could you should never run out of moves. You should always be able to think out of the box and apply these things. So that's what I wanted to share. Okay, thank you.